Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good afternoon. Everyone can hear me clearly?
Yes.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Before we pass the session to our moderator, Muhammad Haikal, let me just introduce myself. My name is Nur Ashida Salim and I am from Universiti Teknologi MARA, UiTM Shah Alam, Malaysia. Okay, a little bit of my background. I am one of the PES Day ambassador for Malaysia section, and I am also the secretary, 2020 secretary for IEEE PES Malaysia section. And on top of that, I am also the counselor for the IEEE UiTM Student Branch. Okay, so I would like to welcome everyone to this program today. Okay, so basically for this program is one of the program organized in conjunction to the IEEE PES Day 2020. Okay, so for your information, this is the 11th program throughout this month of April. And this is the second last program for PES Day. So tomorrow we will have another program in the morning, and that closes the whole PES Day program. Okay, so again, I would like to welcome all participants, local, and also I can see some international registered participant. Okay, I would like to really thank those who are willing to join this program. So I hope this could be beneficial to all of you. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to pass the session to one of the ESCO from IEEE UiTM Student Branch to moderate the program. But before that, just some housekeeping announcement. I would really appreciate if you all could mute your microphone during the presentation so that there is no technical issues. And also, if you have any questions that you would ask to the speaker, you can just drop the questions in the chat box, and the moderator will read it or just pass it to the speaker. Okay, so without further ado, I would like to pass the session to Haikal. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rashida. Yeah. Everybody can hear me?
Yes, clear.
I cannot share my content.
Can you share, Haikal?
I cannot share. The section is closed.
Oh, okay. Wait. I will pass it to you.
Okay.
Okay, now can you share?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody can see my slide?
Yes.
Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon. I greet you guys. Thank you for your time. Okay. Before we go to the main event, let me introduce to you guys a little bit about UiTM, Universiti Teknologi MARA. So as you can see here, this is the main building of the UiTM, which is the Council building. Okay, moving on to the next slide. The Faculty of Electrical Engineering, we are at tower number 2. As you can see here, the tower number 2. And our location is based on Selangor. Okay, where are exactly IEEE Student Branch? We are located at the region number 10, the yellow one. So you can see here the logo for each university student branch at IEEE. Okay. For the counselor of IEEE student branch, we have here Dr. Noor Ashida and Dr. Suhaila Subahi. Dr. Noor Ashida is also the secretary of the IEEE PES Malaysia. So here are the student branch chart. Okay. So this is the aspect that student focusing on when organizing an event. So there are 4 of them. So this is the past activities last year. So there are 6 of them. These are the picture for the activities. And the upcoming activities for only this month we have 4. We have done 3, including today, and the next one, the 4th, is tomorrow, 30th April. So for the social media, we follow us on Facebook, on Instagram also, and also we have our own website. You can see there. So before we start the session, I would gladly to introduce to you guys a little bit about our speaker today. Okay. His name is Awan Nur Rashidi. He is a professional engineer registered with the Board of Engineers Malaysia. Okay. He graduated from Universiti Teknologi MARA with a Bachelor of Engineering, Electrical, and a Diploma in Electrical Engineering majoring in Power. In a career spanning 13 years, he was involved with a number of notable projects in the northern region, such as the first medical hospital in Malaysia to obtain the Green Building Index certification, and the first commercial building in Penang to obtain the MSC status from Multimedia Super Corridor. Okay. Without further ado, I welcome to you guys. I Awan Rashidi to give his session, give his talk. Hello.
Okay.
I want to. Okay. Are you ready?
Rashidi, are you there? Rashidi, I can see his name appearing, but he's not responding. Maybe some technical issue. We'll wait a few minutes.
Assalamualaikum. Can everybody hear me? So sorry about just now. I'm still new with this WebEx thing.
Okay, you are there.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good evening. It's 3 o'clock here in Malaysia. Okay. So firstly, thank you so much for inviting me to be part of this PES Day 2020. Honored and at least a chance for me to share my experience as a professional engineer for the last 5 years. So can I wait? I need to share my slide. I'm not able to share my slide. Oh, okay. Now I can. Okay, can you all hear me? And can you see the screen?
Yes, yes.
All right. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so the topic today that we have chosen for this session will be engineering your success and essential skills required to become a professional engineer. So basically, I will be sharing with you this next 30 to 40 minutes on the things that I have gone through for the last 12, 13 years as an engineer, and for the last 5 years as a professional engineer. So hopefully it'll be beneficial, as I'm told that most of the audience right now is students, soon to be engineers, and the international students, the international participants, are hopefully the things that I say it can be applied from wherever you are. It's just the basic things that maybe we need some emphasizing. Okay, so I think the moderator Haikal has already mentioned it about me. I'm running my own company, a consultancy practice, WNR Consulting Engineers in Berhad, Face Consultancy, and I'm an associate with Tafa Perunding Sedia Berhad. So all these are electrical and mechanical consulting companies dealing with construction works. Okay. So I'm a graduate from UiTM Pulau Pinang in 2007. I started my career as engineer in 2007. So basically, I'm very fortunate that things roll out well for me as soon as I graduate. So in my case, it was a kind of bit of luck. So we're going to talk a bit about being a professional engineer. Basically, in Malaysia, I think most of the country, you have to be accredited by a professional body, and there are certain things that you will have to go through the process of being a professional engineer, starting from your graduation. And in Malaysia, I think most of the students from UiTM would probably have gone through the website, pm.org.my, where it will tell you all the step-by-step things that you need to be doing, right? The first things first is register as a graduate engineer. I hope that all you soon-to-be graduates, after you have gotten your transcript, your degree, please register as soon as possible. Because throughout my years of practicing this job, I've seen people who come to me and ask, how do they apply to be one? What are the process? So, and those who ask me are people who are almost 40s, 50s. So when I ask them, you register graduate? No. So they miss the first step. So if as time goes by, you will have no time to register. You have to go and look for your transcript, look for your scrolls and all. So please, first things first, register as a graduate engineer. And then work in a related field for a minimum of 3 years. That's what is stated in the BM website. For me, it took me longer. It took me 2015 to 7, about 8 years. It took me about 8 years. I took my time, and there are some bumps along the way which I'll be sharing with you. So hopefully you will go through that and maybe get it a lot faster. I've known people who got it in 3 years. My associate in Tafwa Perunding, he got his PE in 3 years because he knows the path, so which makes it all easier. Okay, and of course, apply to become a professional engineer, sitting for a professional PI interview. These are the 3 basic steps to do: register, work, and then go for your interview. Okay, but along the way, like I said just now, I come to a few bumps, so we'll share. And the things that I feel that very crucial as an engineer, you need to have these skills. So these are the topics that we'll go through. So once you've graduated, going out there looking for a job, where you should start your career, right? In the normal thing that students will think of about working as an electrical engineer is, of course, it's usually the electrical utility company. So in Malaysia, it's always TNB, right? I'm sure many of you are aiming for that direction. But that would be a good job, I would say. But is it good enough to make you a professional engineer, registered and get your title, and maybe run your own business? So wherever you want to go and work, it has to have all these 3 main components: engineering management, safety and health, and engineering ethics. All these 3 should be some a role day by day thing that you'll be doing every day as an engineer. Okay, you should be working somewhere that has all these 3 components. So the 3 places that the few places that I can only think of that has that all those 3 components, either in an engineering consultancy company like where I am now, or an engineering construction company. So when you are looking for a job to start, and it's best that I can advise you to look into these 2 companies first, these 2 types of companies first. It will help you a lot. It will definitely help you a lot. And I know with all this post-COVID-19 going to come up, maybe it will be tough for you. Maybe it will help you to get to secure a job. It can be either way, because right now our industry is a bit slow. No more constructions, all very, very slow. Me, I'm a newcomer in the business, so we are trying to move, but with some limitations. But we are still moving. Yes, we can still move with our daily jobs as normal. So why do I say this too? I'm not saying because I'm working. Okay? It's not because I'm recommending people to come and work for me. No, I'm not hiring at the moment. So there's a reason why these two kind of industry, consultancy and construction, has a very advantage for you to become a professional engineer. So we'll have a look why. So to start, it comes back to all these three: engineering management, safety and health, and engineering ethics. Okay, so you will see on how we applying all this in either field. So if you are, for example, in a consultancy company, of course, anywhere you work, you will have to have some sort of management skills. So in an engineering consultancy company, you will be managing documentation works, preparing BQs, bill of quantities, drawings, specifications, preparing design schedules, plan your work, how long will it take, and all, tendering process, and attending meetings. All these are the normal things that I do. And to be honest, it's very time consuming, very tight schedules, whereby that's why time management is very crucial. So if you're in a construction company, you will still have to, of course, manage things like documentation still. But as a construction company, you will be doing the physical works, the materials work aside, not over wasted, construction schedules, and all these things, attending meetings. These are all things that you have to manage. The next will be safety and health. All right. So the safety and health is, of course, if I design things, it has to be in accordance to the standards, where, of course, it will be in compliance with the safety. It's not designed under or over. This will cause hazardous catastrophe to your work later on when it's constructed. And when you design things, it has to be doable. You have to take consideration person who is doing. So in a construction company, you can imagine how it's like to be in a construction site. All the safety. If you are as an engineer, you will have to be leading a group of subordinates, co-workers, and make sure that they were working in a good environment, safety environment. Okay. And lastly is the engineering ethics. This is the most crucial one that usually will only available if you are working either in a construction company or a consulting company. So if you're working in a consulting company, you are dealing with contracts and agreements. These are the kind of work where I can land you in prison for if you have managed it wrongly. Contracts and agreements ensure works as per great design. You cannot design one thing, agreed to the work, and later on when it's completed, it's something else. And as a contractor, committing to an agreed construction period, it's a very crucial thing to do to complete everything on time. So it's a it's a challenging thing, challenging work actually as a contractor, where companies have filed for bankruptcy because they failed to comply to the agreed time. Okay. And at the same time, contractors are mostly a profit-based company, so of course they would try their best to increase their profits, but at the same time not jeopardize the design. So engineering ethics is something where you will challenge you as an engineer, and they will challenge you in a way that you have to make decisions that you may have to do something wrong to make it right, like overpaying someone so that they won't get into trouble in the future. Let's say the agreed sum is to pay for 10 lightings, but they claim more. They claim for 15 lightings. So ethically, you are not allowed to certify, to make payment for 15 lightings because the only one installed is only 10. But maybe they have some kind of problem. They need a little bit more cash to get the project running. So you approve the payment terms, and hopefully you have your back covered so that they will keep their promise to finish up the remaining 5. So these are the kind of things that a lot of engineers cannot make the decision. They feel that everything has to be done according by contract, which has caused a lot of project delays. I've come across a few projects where he ended up abandoned because of contracts. So contracts are something that, yes, you have to follow, but there are ways to bend it. And this can only be applied if you are in this kind of companies, this kind of working environment. All right. So if the 3 places you are working will expose you to these 3 aspects: engineering, management, safety and health, and the engineering ethics, then good. But the reason why I'm telling you all these 3 is because as part of the requirement for BEM, for you to sit for your professional interview, you have to attend these 3 courses. And during the interview, the questions will be on these 3 topics, right? You will be required to submit a report, and the interviewer will ask questions that is related between these 3 to your report, to your project report. So if you have done the project from start to finish, which is good, or maybe halfway or 3/4 along the way, then you should be able to answer. So if you then if the place that you're working has all these 3, then good, then you're getting closer. So a lot of people ask me what kind of consulting or construction company. There's a lot of big companies, Gamuda, UEM builders and all. So they ask, should they apply working there? You can, I think if you open up any job vacancies, websites, or now look at their apps or job streets and all these kind of companies will advertise. Means they are big companies, not like my company. So doesn't necessarily mean that you can be a bit faster compared to those who are working in a small company. It's up to you, actually. You can turn things around, make it to a positive thing. But there are a few things that you need to know before you step into the world of being an engineer. Especially if you're going towards that path. You're going towards that path of being a professional engineer. I feel that the things that you learn now in university or in school is not enough. So you will have to stream through, waddle through the life and experience it yourself. But here I am today. Hopefully, I can share a few things or two after this on things maybe that you should know. Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, the 3 steps of to become a professional engineer is to graduate, register as a graduate engineer, work in the company for 3 years, and sit for your interview. So, the item number 2, that it will take maybe 3 years if you are fast, 8 years if you're slow like me, or maybe more. It depends on you. But along the way, there are a few things that, some skills and tips that I feel most students don't have. I've seen a few fresh grads who applied, and where they lack, they need to enhance. But if you join a company and then only you want to start to enhance all those skills, you're wasting your time. You are also wasting your employer's resources. All right. So get yourself prepared with these skills and tips. I have 5 tips, but the skills, I think it's very basic. I think you should know most of it. Your lecturers, your career advisors all should have informed you all this earlier, like be on time, learn basic Microsoft words. All those things are, to me, are basics. I know you should master them by now. But I feel that a few things that people overlook. Maybe it's a bit petty, but I find it's a big difference to the eye of a professional. And if you are going towards that way, one is be observant. Get the names right. So I'm very concerned about this because I get a lot of I don't knows. I'm not sure. Because in this kind of work, you'll be meeting a lot of people, and some maybe don't care. Some may feel a bit, people will look you at one way, you can't even spell your name right. And in some cases, this kind of work can be dragged if it's abandoned or what. It can be dragged into lawsuit, and getting these names right is very important. Okay, so I've seen how like us in Malaysia, we got names like Muhammad, either the full Muhammad or MOHD, or is it MU, or is it MO? I feel that that's very important. It shows that you are serious in doing what you're doing. So that's why whenever I save a name in my phone, I will save the full name. I don't just say, if his name is Muhammad Firman, I would just type in Firman or just Man. It will be his full name with Ben, the father's name, his contact, what post is he in? Is he an engineer? Is he a technician? Because people can get offended sometimes. He's an engineer, you label him as you thought he's a technician, he thinks that you are looking down at him. So it looks petty, but it plays a big role. Okay. So the next one is write things down. There are times where you feel that this usually will happen when you think that you have worked long enough. I still write things down. We have so many mediums to write now these days. Your phone, your tablet, a simple notepad. Write it down because we are humans. We tend to forget things. At least there's an effort. You write down. You forgot. If you forgot and you didn't write it down, people are going to be a bit pissed off. Okay, you don't even write it down. I have seen people who just attend sites meetings with nothing, not even a pen, right? So a pen is a tool to you for you to write things down. So please have a pen with you all the time, right? So the next one, learn when and how to say no. Right? So you so, sometimes it's good to say yes, but it will eventually be a problem to you. So if someone asks you to do something and you feel that you cannot do it, say no. But don't say no because you don't want to do it. All right. There's a big difference, but people will judge you differently. Be honest. If you cannot do it, uh, tell your reasons. Make sure it's a valid reason, and just say no. Okay. If it's beneficial to you, try your best to do it. Some works are good for you to do it because it can increase your experience. If your boss asks you to do something, don't just simply say, "Oh, I cannot do it." There are people that I've seen who works just within their scope. My company usually is an mechanical and electrical. We work together. So in one company, usually there will be some mechanical engineers, there will be some electrical engineers, right? So there are certain projects where you need to know both. You need to know a bit of the mechanical system, and if you're an electrical, of course, you know your electrical. You're already an electrical base. So there are. I've seen people who try to avoid answering questions when it comes to how do you say, when it comes to nothing that if it has nothing to do with him, then he'll try his best to avoid it. So start a completed list. So this is something that I've been practicing over the years. It's something for you to look back in. It's also a simple journal where you see. I'm sure that many of you, even your study time, you would do a to-do list. Okay, and maybe as a student, you can uh, follow whatever you have planned. But in this kind of job where things are a bit ad hoc, you end up having a longer list because you cannot complete the list that you've done before. So what I do is I still have a simple to-do list, but I, I'll buy a simple 2-page hourly journal. Will say from what time to what time I would be doing what. So instead of writing down the things that you want to do, I would write down the things that what I have done based on a simple to-do list. Okay. That way, like I mentioned earlier, time management is important. As I mentioned earlier, it will be crowded, you will be packed with things to do, and sometimes you don't know what you've done. So I faced this during my first 2 years working as a consulting engineer, and it was a mess. To be honest with you, it was a mess. I almost gave up. I almost gave up. Too many things to do, too little time, and I realized that it's really beyond my control. So that's why I started. Back then, I started this simple journal like what I'm doing now. So it will give me a chance to look back what I've done. Am I really slacking off? Oh, how come there are so many things that I have not done? So it's some way to keep you calm. I feel that way. You see that the things you've done and the things you have accomplished. So there's in the job that is still pending is something that is unavoidable. So that way you know, okay, there are still pendings, and what need to be done. Should you delegate? Should you outsource? Should you tell your boss that you don't have time because you have done all these things? So it will help you, and hopefully you have a good boss. Okay, and finally, to become one, I feel that you have to be financially savvy. It's this has something to do with what I mentioned earlier, that a good, well-known company doesn't necessarily mean that you have a good job. It may mean that you have a good paying job, but does it help you with your professional engineering career? Maybe not. Maybe yes, maybe no. It's up to you. But is the average salary for a fresh grad is less than 2.5K. A very harsh, a very harsh fact, but you have to face it. Alright. So if you were to go for a much higher pay, be ready for a lot more jobs. And when you have more jobs, you can't focus. It's like you're studying. You're studying for something. You're majoring something, but you're taking too much elective courses. Then you're not going to focus on your core courses. So the same thing about being a professional engineer, where when you're working later on, you are doing too many projects, and you have one that particular, because for submitting to BEM, you have to submit a report that you are handling. So that one report, you have to put a lot of effort to it, put more time to it. So that would be the problem. I'm telling you, it's a problem. This is because I had to take 1 year off just to complete my report. It was too busy. I was too busy with work. So many things to do. I had to take that 1 year off just to complete a report. That's why. So imagine I was working. I was working in Tafa Perunding at that time. Now they have upgraded me to be their associate. So I was working there before, and luckily I have good relationship with the bosses, with the principals. So I said I need a time off because it was too busy. I was too busy. So if you are working in a big company, so you can imagine the amount of workload, and how you are going to delegate your time. And as you go along, as you grow older, you have other commitments, family, kids, and all. So you don't have time. So financial, yes, it's very important. If you were to go to a small company, then you won't be paying much. I put it last because I don't want to be talking about money from the start. But this is the true fact. That's why it's either you make a simple decision, which is to look for a new job that pays higher, or you work your way up and become a professional engineer. So I choose the latter. I work my way up and become a professional engineer, and thankfully, Alhamdulillah, things got better. I'm running my own business. earning my own income, signing my own plans. So it's much better pay than working. But these are the sacrifices that you have to do. Maybe people don't see it, and of course you will come across friends that getting much better pay, going to a better vacation, buying better car, But you need to invest your time in a smaller company if can, so that you can learn more. Usually in the smaller company, you are working directly with the principal, so there will be a lot of things that you can ask, that you can observe and learn from him or her. Okay, so financial survey, yes, is very important, and also heads up, avoid credit cards. It can be beneficial, but if you're not good at it, then it'll be a problem. Okay.
Sorry, Ayah Rashidi, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Okay, just now
Yes.
your screen was green.
My screen was green.
Now it's okay.
Oh no, it's okay. Oh my god.
Now we can see back your. Are you writing something on the?
No. Oh, I think I talked too long, so you went to sleep. So sorry.
Oh, okay, so you can just proceed from where you start.
Okay.
Thank you.
I think that's about it. I think this is the five. These are the five things that I feel that if you look into it very carefully, work on it, it will help you. It will help you. It will help me also. If you have all these five, then easier for me to hire you if I'm hiring soon. All right. So I think that's about it. It's about almost 4:00. So I think we're going to have some Q&A session if you have. Do I go back to how do we go on this Q&A session?
Okay, so you have finished your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Rashidi.
Right.
So I'll pass to the moderator. Haikal, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so you can just go through the questions from the chat box.
Okay.
Are there any questions on the chat box?
Yes, there are a few.
Oh, okay. I find it a bit weird talking alone in the room. So
There are some questions from the
from where?
Haikal, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I need to read the question for you?
Wait. I'll try and go back into the. How do you go back into the WebEx? Okay, anyway, read first while I figure out
Okay.
how to.
This is the question from YouTube.
Okay.
If not mistaken, the three mandatory courses,
Yes.
engineering management, safety and health, engineering
Yes.
ethics by BEM are no
Yes.
longer required. Please advise.
Are no longer required.
And please
Okay, I was told that they are still required. Last time, previously, there was another mandatory course where you have to attend courses that is relevant to your how to say engineering field. So usually there will be the three mandatory courses. Each will be 12 hours, and another one will be I think a few 50 hours. I think so. That 50 hours of engineering related courses are no longer required. That was what I know last time lah. I mean, because it's been already 5 years. So, because right now, if I think the reason why it has to do with the new system whereby you have the PE and the PEPC, right? So maybe for PE, yes, you don't need to be taking all those three courses. Maybe for you to take the PEPC, yes, you have to take. But in spite that, if let's say the MSA is no longer mandatory, I would still use that three base as your benchmark on to evaluate yourself where you are. Those three are very good reasons why they made it mandatory last time during my time, 5 years back. Okay. Okay, you can check on the BM website. If it's not mandatory, then I mean you save money, you save time. You don't have to go to course. The course costs you a lot, about what, 700 ringgit per course. So 3 courses is about 2,000. So you save 2,000. But does it develop you as an engineer? That's where you have to evaluate yourself. Okay. Any other questions?
There are few. Okay, I read the next
Okay.
one.
Okay.
In your opinion,
Yes.
what should the institution of higher learning consider to include in the degree syllabus in
Okay.
order to prepare the student to become professional engineer?
Oh, okay. Good question. Oh, okay. Being a professional engineer, for me, you need to know something that is outside the books, which is something to do with the authorities. If you're an electrical engineer, you need to know on how you get electrical supply, like me, what I'm doing, which is why I've I've been invited to lecture in UiTM Penang and I've designed a course where it's based on the work that I'm doing, but at the same time it's related to what you have studied during your degree time. It's closely related. So students needs to know things like that, where the work is being applied to. When you calculate things like as an electrical engineer, I think most of you are familiar with maximum demand. I'm sure you all know only by the fact that maximum demand is a connected load times the diversity factor. But where do you apply it? What happens if you calculate wrongly? So those kind of things that I feel the Institute of Higher Learning should include. I've been one of the advisors for the accreditation in the UiTM Penang, and I've suggested a few things, but it's not that easy to be incorporated. So as for me as an electrical engineer, yes, I've included that kind of things where you will have to apply later on during working time. Usually because in our kind of work, we deal with a lot of rules and regulations. So what have you learned? Where can you apply it in that rules and regulations? Okay.
Are you okay with the next question?
Okay.
Okay. This is from Azroimi bin Hosni.
Okay.
Okay, to those engineers who are working at developer company client side,
Yes.
how can they prepare themselves to become a professional engineer? Or is there other alternative?
Okay. If you're working in the developer side, like UDA or this Eco World, you have to be very well knowledge. That's why I feel that your journey out to become a professional engineer, the you should start as a contractor first. Then you jump into consulting, and then you go to developer. You can go straight to developer. You can jump straight. No problem, no issue. Maybe the pay is good, right? Usually the pay is good. All right. I've heard people are paying about 1,000 a day for some big developers. So, but the thing is, you don't know. Usually, when you are working as an engineer in a developer, that company, that developer has already engaged a consulting engineer. So his role is usually is to check whether the engineer is designing things as per requested. Is he not over designing? Because these kind of things are, this is where the ethics come in. All right. So how, if you are a fresh guy, and how you can develop yourself to become a professional engineer, you have to really discuss with you have to discuss with the person, the engineer who is who are working with the who gets the project, right? Who are awarded with the project. But the problem is there will be some conflict of interest. So that would be a problem because you are using the engineers, the consulting engineers design for you to submit. Unless you come up with your own VE. We most do this. We how to say? We value engineer their work. We try to come up with a better solution, and then maybe you can suggest to the developer that you have a way of making things better. Then it's okay. But what I've seen is that many that I've come across where the developer will ask me and say, "Can I use your design?" I mean, yes, they can use my design, but they need to understand it because the questions during the interview is based on the design. If they are not designing, then there will be a problem when the questions come out, right? So the proper way I would say is start as a contractor, then go into as a consultant, and then to the developer. If you go straight, good. But the learning process is a bit reversible. It's like you're doing your assignments, but you're looking at the answers first. That's how I see it. If you start directly into a developer, okay. I hope that answers the question.
Okay, this is the last question in the chat in the chat box. It is from Kuno Azri. Okay. He said, Assalamualaikum, I Awano Rashidi.
Waalaikumsalam.
Right now, I have been working as project engineer with one construction company, and now I'm handling ICT JKR's project. But actually, I'm come from electrical background. So, could you advise me what skills do I need to have?
Okay. It's a bit contrasting, right? You are in electrical, but you are doing ICT. Okay. But there are still things that you can learn. You can make full use of your time working as a JKR engineer in the ICT field. So of course you've seen a lot of specs. You can go through it. I mean, me sometimes I have to design some ICT works myself, and it would be good that you get some knowledge. You learn a lot of things. The learning process never stops. All right. So if you are in JKR right now, working, I think it's more or less like the third question where he works as a developer, and if you were to pursue to become a professional engineer, you probably have to change that field to a electrical engineering background. That will help a lot with BM during the interview process. Because if your report is more on the ICT things, so and you're registered with the board as an electrical engineer, then I think the board would approve your report. So for now, let's carry on. But try to find some friends in the electrical engineering department. There's a lot of friends that I know also, and they can help you. But in terms of you need a design work, so I'm sure that if I'm not wrong, there are sometimes some projects where AKR will do it in-house, where they don't engage consultants. So try to get yourself involved from there. I mean, maybe write a letter to the head of the electrical department, say that you want to be involved, and just do for it. It's up to you, actually. It's up to you. But at your ICT department, you can still you will still have to apply those three things: management, engineering, ethics, and safety and health. So you are there already. You're halfway there. You just need the core design to submit to BEM. That's all. So the three things is still required. Okay. I hope that answers your questions.
Before I pass the session to Dr. Rashida, there is one more question.
Oh, okay.
From Nizamuddin Khalid. In your opinion, which engineering? Wait, I lost it. Okay. In your opinion, which engineering sector accelerate for PE undertaking, consultant or contractor or client company?
Okay. Which will help you? Which will help you? I would say construction. Construction, then only go to consultant. Then it will help a lot, because the way I see it, a contractor is where you will receive instructions from the consultant. So you see your consultant is like a teacher. So you have to be a student first. Listen to what they are teaching you, and then you can teach people. So I see that when I first start my work in 2007, I joined the consulting company. It was a bit blurry. I don't know what I'm doing because everything is on paper. Everything is two-dimensional. I cannot imagine things like how you bend cables, how big is the switchboards, the cable ladder, how high it should be, So I can't imagine that. So that's why then my career path is in such a way that I work for a few months, it's not even a year, then I joined a construction company. So that is where I learned a lot. It really, 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 really helped me. And then I jumped into, I joined an electrical contractor company for just 2 months. But yeah, at that time they were doing very, very heavy work, high tension electrical installations. So that 2 months span really helped me when I was offered a job in a consulting company. So if you are in a contracting company, good, be there, earn as much as you can, and then you can apply it in a consulting company. And after that, if you were to join a client side as a developer, it will be a lot easier. It will be a lot easier, and you will be paid more handsomely. Okay, so my advice: start from contractor. That's the best advice I can give you. And one thing about joining a contracting company is a much easier way to join a contracting company. It's a lot easier. You can join. There's a lot of subcontractors. You can join that first. Slowly build yourself up. It will take more time. Of course, it will take more time. But no need to rush. Take your time. Make sure you are well prepared. That is more important. Okay.
I think that's all for the Q&A session.
All right. Thank you so much.
Okay, I pass the session now to Dr. Rashida.
Okay.
Okay, Dr. Rashida, are you there?
Yes. Okay, thank you, Haikal, for moderating the session, and I would like to sincerely express our thanks to our speaker, IR Rashidi, for the tips and for applying for the professional engineer. Okay, just to share with you all, Rashidi was my student back in 2006 in UiTM Pulau Pinang. Okay, and with that, we end the session, but before that, okay, there is another program under the IEEE PES Day 2020, which is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Malaysia time, where we will have a renowned speaker, Professor Dr. Zuhaina Zakaria. She will share on how emotional intelligence can make you a better leader. So I guess tomorrow's topic also is more or less related to being a professional engineer.
Yeah.
Okay.
True.
So with that, okay, just to inform the participants, I have posted the feedback form. I really appreciate if you could all answer the feedback form, and for the slide presentation, we will email to all of the participants together with the recorded video. Okay, and again, on behalf of UiTM Student Branch and IEEE PES Malaysia, I would like to thank the speaker and also all participants for your time in joining this program. So I hope the participants could pick up some of the important points that the speaker have shared. Okay, so with that, I end the session. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and a very good day.
All right. Waalaikumsalam.
Happy iftar.